go again. Welcome back, Above Average FPL. Just with me, Baker, today. What we're trying to do this week is, with the short turnaround, multiple days, is just talk through our normal takes that we do on a Sunday night through the week. But yeah, Adam busy working, me up early trying to get in this and get it out to you today. And then we've got one game of the game week left, which is Tottenham versus Chelsea. I've got no idea what to expect from Tottenham tonight, but I'm obviously hoping for Palmer blank, mainly because I took him out, and secondly because he's playing Tottenham. So yeah, that would be sweet. So wildcard hasn't gone great. I mean, it's gone better than it should have. Like, I've ended up with 50 points, small green arrow, which will probably turn red, even with anything from Palmer will turn red, which is never ideal. What was my reasons for wildcarding? I had a pretty safe team. I think I would have had about the same points, to be fair, because I'd had Milenkovic instead of Vardiol, and yeah, I'd still have Palmer going into tonight. So I would have been all right. I think I'd have had Evan Nilsson instead of Marmoush. So as expected, kind of would have been fine. My big fear was Palace, and Palace didn't deliver. So wildcard doesn't deliver. Yeah, and then obviously as well the Salah cap, which I would have done anyway, whether I wildcarded or not. So that made very little difference. But obviously the bits that didn't really work out, Saka was on the bench, but got a return. Foden was on the bench, didn't play at all. But effectively I got 13 points from £18 million of midfielders that both were benched. It's not ideal. Saka's a one, obviously you feel confident going forward. Foden's one is really interesting now, because potentially I'm going to have Foden and Gabriel, like 15 million quid's worth of assets, sitting on my bench for a few weeks. Feels weird, but with next week being a double, I've got to make room for 6 Newcastle players. I probably can't bench boost in 32 now, but with the Isak injury, so let's do Newcastle first. So Newcastle 2, Brentford 1. Pretty Newcastle v Brentford game, really. I mean, I don't think either of them are particularly good defensively, and this is kind of how it played out. Is a penalty is basically half of the XG for Brentford. Newcastle did all right. 0.01 XG for the Tonali goal. He said something like 30% of it was a cross, 70% of it was a shot. I mean, it felt like that. Outside of that, some interesting things. Barnes had 7 shots. That's Barnes all over. Isak had 3 shots, including his goal. And Bumo tops the XG, but 0.79 of his 0.87 was the penalty. Let's have a look more at some stuff in the game. As you can see from the field tilt, it's pretty even. Like, they attack. If we look at the Brentford boys, they continue to be strong. Wissa obviously wins the penalty. Nice double drag of both legs. He knew exactly what he was doing. Felt NFL-like, the way that, just trying to get your feet in touch before the contact. Pulls them both together. Yeah. Clever. Bumo's still mostly creative. Albeit only 1 key pass, but like he's pretty wide. But he's on pens. It helps. If we go look at the Newcastle guys, see Harvey Barnes, before he went off, very much in the Gordon role, albeit he can drift. 3 shots off target, 4 shots blocked. Obviously, he also had an offside goal ruled out. Only just offside, really stupid, really, which would have been Isak. Assist. If we go for Murphy only played 66 minutes. Interesting that after the game, Howe mentioned that Trippier had a cramp-like sensation in his groin, and that they felt. He didn't say that Isak felt. He said that they felt that Isak was tight in his groin. So that's why they took him off. But Up to that point, yeah, free shots still, free key passes. It's just a really good asset for 5 million. Be interesting, if Barnes is playing well, what does that mean in terms of total minutes? We might even see that, for example, Gordon comes in, and when Barnes comes on, that's for Isak. So that's a possibility as well. And then Isak himself, he's everything you want from a striker. If he's fit, I think I will just captain him. He's playing Leicester. Both the shots he had, other than his goal, he probably should have scored. For him anyway, one's a big chance missed. For him, that header, especially because the keeper Flecken was so far out of position for when he had the header, it was virtually an open goal. And then he had one key pass, but he also obviously created a big chance, which was ruled out for Barnes. Yeah, just for me, if he's fit, it's great. Trippier back in the team, not as far forward as you'd probably want from Trips. If we look at it, he only made 3 crosses in the game, only 2 key passes. We did see this a bit last season. When Murphy's playing, then that does kind of limit Trippier because Murphy does all the crossing. So, interesting to see. However, Trippier did get 21 baseline. So, if they'd cleaned, he was smashing the bonus. If you got him, you're pretty happy, but you do worry when they say cramp in the groin, like a double game week, can he play both? Not sure I'd bring him in. Let's skip on because we've got 6 games. I'm going to try and do them quickly. Man City, Leicester, 2-0. Jesus Christ, Leicester. Just offer nothing. This could have been as many as they wanted. It genuinely felt second half they could have had as many as they wanted. It was, considering it was only 2-0, they took the foot off the gas really, 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 really quickly. The standout being Marmoush, 9 shots, 1.58 XG. He's very much in the captaincy conversation. Would I captain Marmoush over Salah right now for this weekend? I think maybe yes. I think it's easier to captain him than probably Mo at Fulham. At Fulham's difficult. So yeah, I mean, Marmoush, Grealish, Savinho dominated shots, but really, look how many little shots they had for this. You'd expect almost a lot more, but when you look at the proportion that's going to Marmoush, it's mad. It's mad. And if we look at this field tilt, all them, and if we call up this forward 4, well, these 3 actually. Adam can talk about Doku when we get there, but Jack's still very much to the left. So in the 10, but very much to the left, because if you look at Doku, he's very wide. Very, very wide. Sav comes off that wing a lot, gets into the box, a huge amount. Partially that'll be down to the fact that Matheus Nunes is really a midfielder playing right back, so we'll get in, which enables Sav to come off the wing. It's good. And 5 key passes. He was the constant feed for Marmoush. It's a good pair. If you've got both, you feel really happy with it. Works hard, couple of tackles. That's why his baseline was so good. Getting top bonus for just an assist when they cleaned. That's pretty impressive. This is just good. It's exactly what we want from this. And selfish, no key passes. It's all about him. Word on Vardiol, just a note, is that yes, centre back, yes, lack of attack, very much further back. But what he does have from an FPL perspective is O'Reilly is a midfielder, Matheus Nunes is a midfielder, which means Ederson, Vardiol and Diaz are the only people that get the clean sheet bonus. So he, wasn't far off bonus yesterday. And in games when they're not playing Leicester, if they clean, I'd say he has a very good chance. Did feel like towards the end like they were trying their best to try and concede, albeit they gave it a go, but obviously they're playing Leicester, so no issues. That's them. Liverpool Everton. I mean, probably for me the thing on this one is there's 2 incidents here that won't feature on any stats or any of what we're looking at. And one is obviously the red card. If they get a red card in the first 15 minutes, then, well, you're very happy if you're a Mo Salah cap if that happens. And then secondly is obviously the right at the end where Darwin Núñez gets taken out by Pickford, but the ref had already blown the whistle. Now, the ref didn't need to blow the whistle. All the players played on. If he doesn't blow the whistle there, you get the pen. Now, whether you could say Pickford might have known that he could get away with it, he'd heard the whistle, we will never know that. He's never going to admit he deliberately took him out, but he might have. But, two incidents which won't show up on this one, which could have been very, very good for Mo. Other than that, especially first half, I thought Liverpool were very, very lucky to go in 0-0. I thought Everton were excellent. I thought they were easy to get at, Liverpool. They didn't look as rested as you'd expect them to be. Is Slots talked about their work rate not being enough. I think it continued to not be enough. When we look at this from a Mo perspective, one shot. Now, interestingly, I felt this was quite a big chance from Mo. It was a header. It was about 6 yards out. It was at the back post, but it only got 0.07 XG. Now, headers do tend to not get that much, but I was surprised he missed it. Probably shows just how good Mo's been. But yeah, if we look at it, it will say field tilt is all in Liverpool's favour, but every time Everton got the ball, it was so easy for them to get at Liverpool. So I think a lot of teams maybe will look at that. We sort of saw it a little bit at the start of the season. People were accusing Liverpool being a bit boring when they were winning 1-0, 2-0 repeatedly. Maybe we are on the home straight from them. It feels hard. To see them banging 3 past Fulham on the weekend. So maybe that opens a door that we don't have to captain Mo every week. Especially with doubles coming. No other real big takeaways, I think. Luis Diaz, should note, had a stellar game, really. He was the standout player for them. He made 6 key passes. He included 1 big chance created. He had 3 shots, got an assist, worked incredibly hard. So, yeah, rightly man of the match. Issue is, if you think about Diaz to Jota, there's actually, when those sort of players do, there's less chance of it swinging through. So if you haven't got to Mo, the big long ball coming from Trent, and you're not likely to get big crosses coming out from these guys, actually, he was always there and thereabouts, I should say, over here. Like for Jota's goal, Jota's here, and Mo, and I almost think Pickford thought that he was going to lay it off to Mo because he went too far this way, and Jota was clever enough that he then shoots that side. But Mo was right there just to be laid off to, but Jota wasn't having that. So, yes, it's definitely one to watch. Brighton, Villa. I mean, when you see Villa's bench yesterday, their bench is good. Their squad is good. I feel like they are fully full steam ahead to get in that Champions League again. They're in the Champions League. They've got a big enough squad to rotate. I firmly think Emery's on go time. Like, this is a man who's won big competitions. When they made the signings of Asensio and Rashford, I thought that seems odd for a team that's got PSR issues to sign guys like on loan that have obviously no sell-on value, even if they were to sign them. It seemed odd. But Emery's not. Emery's like, let's win this now, because even if these boys go back at the end of the season, if these guys get them into the Champions League, they've given them an extra 60 million quid. It's really clever. It's really clever. A lot of us think about the long-term projects and what they're seeing and doing, but Aston Villa are realising that now is really important, and they've gambled. And I think fair play. it's working incredibly well. Rashford obviously plays number 9. Another game where we could have had multiple penalties in this game. Villa should have had a penalty in the first half, which I assume Rashford would have taken. Chance as well for Brighton to have had a pen shortly after. If we look at this though, you've got 2 shots from Rashford. What I like about the goal, I love someone hits it into the ground when it goes in, because it always feels to me like quite a confident finish. It's really hard to save if someone uses the turf to create the extra spin. Yeah, really impressive. Really, really impressive. I actually didn't think that the Adingra goal should have been ruled out either. I think that hit Matoma's sleeve rather than his arm, but it's what it is. So I haven't got a huge amount to take from it other than that. If we look at these, João Pedro obviously played 9, played 72 minutes, came off. Still good. If they'd have got the pen, you'd have said fantastic. Rashford, 65 minutes for him, but at number 9. If you get a £6.5 million forward playing 65 minutes every game at number 9, you don't mind it, especially when you've got games like Southampton coming up on a double. You like it. Obviously, with no Watkins in this team, what that does mean is the attackers, if you're involved, you're much more likely to get bonus. So we saw Rodgers played 88 minutes. Apparently did go off for an injury. I haven't seen anything about what that injury is or not, whether there is anything in there. But and obviously he's playing very much more to the right now. But creative good, 2 assists, 2 big chances created. Yeah, still excellent and great on minutes. Asensio off the bench obviously scores and assists one. Like Asensio's he just prints returns. Like, it's just whether you get the minutes. 2 to go. I mean, Southampton Palace. I did a video on Palace last week and said, hey, guess what? They what was it? 36 goals, 33 against in 29 games, or 28 games it was. You know, just over 1 goal scored per game, just over 1 goal conceded per game. There was no step up, considering they were playing Southampton. You know, felt a little bit leggy after the FA Cup. This is not good for their European hopes, which might mean we use that beach word soon, which is a concern. But what you did see is where there were chances is they could easily have led or led to returns by the usual suspects. Mateta has a chance early on, hits the bar. What we also saw, so Nketiah came on. So one thing is obviously Mateta came off within 60 minutes. I think most of us didn't expect more than, say, 70 minutes from Mateta. I think if we expected more, we would have capped him. But, you know, in that time, one, he has a chance early on that hits the bar. And the second one, he had a drive, which was a good save from the keeper. Worth noting that the keeper almost spilled it. If he had spilt it, the 2 people in front of him were Munoz and Sarr. One of those guys would have got it. If it just left his hands, one of those guys would have had a goal, and Mateta would have had the assist. Sarr set up Eze for a good chance. That's also in there. So it's still quite predictable where those returns will go. It's just how many goals will they score? We kind of want Palace scoring at least 2 goals a game, and especially against Southampton. Yeah, not much. Not much more from it. Sarr lively and gets 90, but no shots. No shots. You want more than no shots versus Southampton. Eze felt quite sloppy. What I saw of him, you know, is looked like he was trying stuff. Looked like he was, you know, he's probably pretty confident after back-to-back goals in the FA Cup and for England, but he gave the ball away a few times. Plays 90. Plays 90. Munoz reports he was pretty tired, so only 76 minutes from him. As I said, not a lot there, but with Munoz, it's always about, well, where did we see him and could there have been a chance? And if you have a look at that Mateta save end of the first half, then he was right there. You don't see that often from right backs. Last game, Bournemouth, Ipswich. Well done, the Ipswich. Get the result on the road. I mean, Bournemouth, this is a problem now. Like, it's been a long time since they win. Yeah, I mean, Ipswich were able to go relatively toe-to-toe for them. And at the point where Delap scored, they had more XG than them. I love that goal from Liam Delap, by the way. Like, just unnecessary power. I ain't giving you a chance. I'm just going to bang. No Cliver. He said he's really tired. I mean, what does that mean? What can you think from it? Evan Nilsson gets 3 shots. His goal was 0.67 of his 0.72, which, you know, scrappy rebound. That's where you want your number 9. That's where he was. Dango back in the team, 6 shots. Good numbers. Semenyo, 6 shots. We've seen this all season. Is these guys have big number shots, but actually 0.1 XG per shot. What's that? Less than 0.4 XG, 0.04 XG per shot. Not 0.4, 0.04 XG per shot for Semenyo. Yeah, I don't know. Evan Nilsson in the right spaces. Exactly where you want him. He's a really good channel runner, and he'll end up in the box. Then we've got Semenyo. Semenyo on the left. I think a lot of people thought Semenyo was going to move to the right for this game, and that Dango would go left. But Dango actually had a bit, you know, just channel ran both sides. Semenyo was the one that more stuck to the position. Alex Scott came into the team. Really like Alex Scott. He's full box to box though. Like, one of the things that I felt when I was watching them is when you lose Tav and when you lose Cliver, is all these guys want to run with the ball. Like, Cooks set up Evan Nilsson from a box to box run. Christie loves box to box run. Scott loves box to box run. Runner, poacher. Like, who's actually going to keep the ball, stay on the ball, have that bit of artistry to unlock stuff? If they haven't got Tav and they haven't got Cliver, they just all run. You need a bit of artistry, and they lost that. They lost that last night, and that obviously hurt. So there you go. 6 games done in, I think, about 20 minutes. Hopefully, we'll do a pod tomorrow night with our team selections. I think captaincy is obviously really interesting, and team selection, I can show you right now for me where my team sits. So interestingly, this would have been my bus team. I'm obviously going to have to move Gabriel to Livramento. Very good at doing this live on the team. And I'm probably at the moment going to move Murphy in for Foden. At the moment, providing all as well, I'll have Isak Cap, I imagine, and Vice on Salah. But yeah, seems very odd if you put £9 million Foden on the bench. But drop the comments, see what you think. Let us know what you think of these videos. It'll go on Patreon immediately because I have the power to do that. I'll send it to Adam and he'll try and get it up on YouTube a bit later for you guys.